Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Oxhorn, and today's short video is on the Pulowski Preservation Shelters from Fallout 4. You know these things, the big blue containers you see dotting Boston. You open them up and sometimes find goodies and almost always find a dead body. These shelters are courtesy of the Pulowski Preservation Services Company. Before the Great War, they were in direct competition with Vault Tech.
Seems there's been a lot of talk these days about vault life, but not all of us have the luxury to spend so much on something that, frankly, we may not actually need.
They created these small shelters which they marketed as an affordable alternative to living in a vault.
Unlike those other guys, the sensible folks at Pulowski Preservation Services have created an affordable line of personal protection products to make sure no one gets left behind. Personal protection, there when you actually need it.
We see them in Fallout 3, where they look slightly different. Apparently the ones in DC weren't painted blue, they had a metal finish, and they also didn't protect from explosions very well. The ones in Fallout 4 are much larger. They're painted this bright blue.
Nuclear protection on a budget.
And they protect from explosions.
Boy, I sure could go for a cup about now. Stopping at Smokehouse Joe, the Bostoner's choice.
However, neither of the chambers actually protect from radiation. Here I am using the console. I'm going to summon a radstorm, and watch, you'll see that I take radiation damage. This might help explain why when you open up the chambers, you almost always find a skeleton, sometimes even a living feral ghoul. It appears that the shelters were a form of snake oil that was sold to the pre-war residents of the United States during their fear of nuclear annihilation. It didn't actually work. It wouldn't really shelter you from radiation. But the Pulowski Preservation Services Company saw a great opportunity to make a little bit of money. The name of the Pulowski Chambers might come from a man named Edward Crockett Pulowski, who was a United States Forest Service ranger based in Wallace, Idaho. Ed Pulaski was famous for saving all but 5 of his 45-man firefighting crew during the Great Idaho Fire of August 20th, 1910. He and his men were trying to fight a fire about 5 miles south from Wallace, on the west fork of Placer Creek, when suddenly the fire broke out of control and overwhelmed his entire 45-man crew of firefighters. Pulaski led his men to find shelter in a nearby abandoned prospect mine. As the mine filled with smoke, the firefighters began to panic. Pulaski drew a pistol and threatened to shoot anyone who passed him. 2 horses died from smoke inhalation, but the rest of the men laid on the floor of the mine and managed to survive the great big blow-up fire of 1910, thanks to Pulaski. It's possible that the makers of Fallout 3, which introduced the Pulowski Preservation Chambers to us, were inspired by this story. The analogy is an obvious one, and if the name of Pulaski was well known to the citizens of the United States of America, then it would have made for great marketing. Perhaps he was a well-known hero. In case of nuclear holocaust, head to your local Pulowski Chamber. For just like Ed Pulaski saved his men during the Great Fire of 1910, the Pulowski Chamber will save you from nuclear annihilation.
Remember, that's Pulowski Preservation Shelters. Simply there when you actually need them. Exact change only.
It also comes laced with a little bit of typical Bethesda irony. Even though Ed Pulaski saved 40 of his men, 2 horses died and so did 5 of his men, even though they were protected in the mine. Similarly, the Pulowski Chamber might protect you from explosions, at least the ones in Boston. But when it comes to radiation, the very thing they were built to protect you from, you're better off in a refrigerator. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Pulowski Preservation Shelter, a unique oddity on the east coast of the United States of America, which I don't believe ever made it to the west coast, seeing as that they're not found in New Vegas. A quirky little device complete with plumbing, exhaust, and emergency respiratory gear, but that still killed every single person who ever tried to use it. I hope you liked this short little video. I was inspired to make it after seeing these things all over the Commonwealth and wondering just what exactly is the story behind this thing. I'd love to hear your comments. I read every comment you guys write on my videos and I respond to the best ones. Are there any little oddities like this that you'd like to see explored? Would you like me to lift the hood up behind the lore of anything else? I'm happy to take a look for you and to produce a video on it. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like videos like this, please subscribe for more Fallout 4 content. I produce a new video every single day. And if you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers get access to my private Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just so glad you're here watching. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Your views keep this channel alive. And stay tuned for tomorrow when I'll publish a brand new video. Thanks for watching.